This is Aditya.
And this is KHUSHI.
We have a very special guest. He's one of the senior most dance teacher in Delhi who's been teaching from past 20 years in Western dance form.
And he brought Dancehall to Delhi and he's well known in the dance industry for the same. So let's jump right into the podcast now.
Hey guys, welcome to Hum Tum और Baatein और मेरा नाम है आदित्य.
मेरा नाम है खुशी और आज हमारे साथ सॉरी सो सॉरी
Absolutely, people.
Just a second. ये आवाज कहाँ से आ रही है?
तेरे फोन से
मेरा ना शूट चल रहा है ना आपको 15-20 मिनट तक करूँ.
ये अच्छा है.
वो ठीक
डांस फील्ड में तो स्पेसिफिकली आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्पेसिफिकली मेन जो नई शादी करते हैं.
I mean, बहुत कमीने हैं. She could go. Oh, can I see that?
तो मिलते हैं हमारे प्यारे से डॉनी सर से.
सर सर
Hey, आदित्य, hey, खुशी, hi.
कैसे हो सर?
बढ़िया.
सर बड़े सीरियस हो रखे हो और थोड़ा सा निकल हो जाओ. बहुत सीरियस बैठे हो.
Yes.
हाँ जी.
बस सुन
Intimidating, yeah. But yes.
कैसे हो सर आप?
बढ़िया. Little exhausted. I had to come straight from work, so prepping up about the entire interview. तो सोच ही रहा था कि कैसे जाएगा, क्या चीज़ें मैं बना के लाऊं अपने साथ.
सर क्वेश्चन करना है, आपने सिर्फ आंसर देना है.
हाँ.
कोई दिक्कत वाली बात नहीं.
एकदम थी यार, एकदम थी.
प्रिपरेशन तो हमें करनी होती है.
ओके सर. सर तो अभी जर्नी कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुई है इसकी डांस की? मतलब आपने कब स्टार्ट किया बेसिकली?
तो मैंने कभी डांस चूज़ तो नहीं किया था, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. लाइक एनी किड इन द 80s मिड 80s हम सारे क्रिकेट ही खेल रहे थे दीवार में 3 लाइन बना के. और स्कूल में भी वही था. आई यूज्ड टू प्ले वॉलीबॉल. तो मैं स्टेट लेवल वॉलीबॉल खेला करता था. बट उसके बाद डांस जस्ट हैपेंड बिकॉज यू केम टू 11th एंड हैज़ अ ट्रेडिशन 11th आर सपोज टू गिव फेयरवेल टू 12th एंड वी वर आस्क्ड टू डांस. और वहाँ पे वट एवर द 12th क्लास स्टूडेंट और सॉरी द 11th class student was teaching us, हमने बस करना शुरू किया. and somehow the teachers were like, you kind of dance well, and that kind of caught on to me. And also as a kid where you don't get too much attention because you started dancing so well and you started getting so much attention, then you started getting pulled towards that thing. I'll dance for more functions in school and things and that, and that's when the whole thing was started off. But still I never chose to dance. I never chose to dance.
टैलेंट बचपन से ही था अपने अंदर?
मुझे खुद नहीं पता था, बट सडनली पीपल
शादी भी करे के अंदर आपने डांस
कभी नहीं. मतलब मन करता था. वो हमेशा गाने सारे चुनते थे हम लोग. वहाँ प्रभुदेवा के गाने चलते थे एंड आई वाज अ डाई हार्ड फैन ऑफ माइकल जैक्सन ऑब्वियसली. डैड हमेशा उसके कैसेट्स लेके आते थे और गाने बजाया करते थे. ही इज़ क्वाइट अ म्यूजिकल पर्सन. so I grew up around music only, and because during that time Michael Jackson का Thriller, Dangerous album सारे इतने famous थे. It was like a thing for any parent to just bring that most popular cassette back home so that they can just tell to their friends कि I have this collection of this artist and that artist. And my dad being a music lover completely, he would have collections of all the really good artists that you can
माइकल जैक्सन मेरे बचपन तक भी चला है.
हाँ
मतलब हम
ये कौन सा बचपन है भाई?
वाकई
मैं भी इसी बचपन में हूँ.
रो तो छोटी
किस राउंड के बाद
जेन्युइनली वो कैप होती है ना, वो लेके
हैट लेके गया.
स्पेसिफिकली मैं खरीद के लेके आया था. हम लोग घर पे डांस करते थे जबकि मैं इतना अच्छा डांसर पहुंच नहीं. पर ठीक है.
बचपन कभी
तो सॉरी आप कर रहे हो बात. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन है, आप साउथ इंडियन बैकग्राउंड से आते हो,
हाँ जी.
राइट? तो मेरे ख्याल से वहाँ पर तो बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स आ गए हैं. डॉक्टर, लॉयर या फिर और कौन सा होता है? इंजीनियर. तो कुछ घर वालों ने कुछ नहीं बोला डांस के लिए?
डांस के थैंकफुली मॉम एंड डैड काफ़ी सपोर्टिव थे. दे लव द फैक्ट कि मैं जो भी कर रहा था काफ़ी क्रिएटिवली करता था, और मॉम एंड डैड को भी काफ़ी सारे पसंद थे. बट बिकॉज आई केम फ्रॉम अ साउथ इंडियन स्कूल, लॉट ऑफ माई फ्रेंड्स सारे के सारे Well, some of them are working at NASA right now. Some of them are working in some high commission somewhere else, and they're all family friends. And they would always look at वो वहाँ पे कर रहा है, and then again उतनी knowledge किसी को थी नहीं कि creative field में. Parents were like, we come from a very a middle class family who had only knowledge about certain things, and to expect from their kid to pick up anything from the art stream, they had no clue कि कितना last करेगा. And just like that, they also wanted me to कि जाओ तुम भी कुछ बैंक की नौकरी का. मैं तो इंटरव्यू देने वाला था SBI का, वो जाके मैं फॉर्म्स भरने वाला था. तो somehow they became quite supportive. जब मैंने प्रोफेशनली ट्रेनिंग करना शुरू किया with dance works, I immediately got opportunities to be part of movies and go for shows and travel with them, and they like the fact that I'm getting to do things more constructively through dance. And I was around people who were quite famous at that time, and also they had names in the industry. बहुत पहले स्टार टीवी में एक शो आता था, गुड मॉर्निंग इंडिया. तो सुबह सुबह एक एरोबिक्स का एक छोटा सा एक 10-15 मिनट का एक सेक्शन होता था. And I remember before going to school switching on to that TV and watching that little section, and I would see these dancers dancing, and little that I knew that after a couple of years I was actually with that group. So I was part of Ashley Lobo's company after a while. So that seemed a little bit more getting a little importance, or should I say getting recognized by them, whatever that I was doing. So mom and dad were like happy only कि ठीक है, whatever that you're doing, at least you're doing it with people who are experts in that field. And and that's about it.
What जैसे right now you are teaching, right? So obviously movies के offers आए, आपने movies में काम भी किया as in, but why did you continue that? मतलब as in movies के अंदर choreography के लिए try क्यों नहीं किया आपने?
तो जब ट्रेनिंग शुरू हुई, हम लोग मेनली फोकस कर रहे थे जैज़, कंटेम्प्रेरी और बैले में, जिसका मूवमेंट पैटर्न, whole physical nature, movement nature of that dance form is so different, and it's very stage oriented. Stage में perform करना, and I loved being on stage. Just the fact that you could stand and perform in front of a lot of people. The first introduction to stage was City Fort also. City Fort is a massive auditorium. It's a massive auditorium. And to just perform there was quite such a high. Then that stuck on to me too much. And then we got opportunities to work in movie productions and everything. I had very little understanding कि मूवीज़ में होगा कैसे, बिकॉज इवन इफ़ यू आर एन एक्सपर्ट, वहाँ पे जाके यू हैव टू कोरियोग्राफ एंड बेंड थिंग्स अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट द स्टार्स कुड डू, and we have to make things very camera presentable and not stage. The stage philosophy doesn't apply over there. तो सारी चीज़ें चेंज हुई, और वहाँ पे मुझे कुछ नॉलेज थी ही नहीं कि कैमरा के पीछे कैसे काम कैसे करते हैं. We most of the dancers who came from in that shoot, we were dancing as if we were dancing on stage, and we had little to no idea of not to look into the camera, or be very conscious. The whole camera blocking is something, I learned terminologies then and there only कि अच्छा ये सब चीज़ें कुछ होती हैं. तो वो चीज़ें somehow it didn't click with me. And also the kind of work hours they do, you can say that I'm lazy, but I'm not very lazy. But the fact that everything starts middle of the night or bloody early morning, and I was like, dude, this is not what I can do. And also a lot of other things had piled up on it. You had to bring down your level of expertise to match according to what they would do.
Okay, yeah.
So that didn't suck on to me, and I felt like I think I would prefer to be more on stage and do more productions. And during that phase only, we got a chance to work with Barry John and few other directors. We did a lot of things on stage, and someone who was not keen on dancing somehow ended up in dancing and doing well on stage productions. That felt really good.
Okay.
And that stuck on to me, and I was like, this is what I feel more of myself.
थिएटर में करा है.
हाँ.
Okay.
So more of theatre production, theatre musical production, musical dance productions mostly उसके तरीके से.
आप वेडिंग कोरियोग्राफीज भी करते हो ना?
वेडिंग कोरियोग्राफीज बहुत छुप के करता हूँ ताकि पता ना चले, बट
अब सबको पता लग जाएगा.
हाँ, I mean, you want to make good money, huh? No, please, no, I'm not expensive. I have very good friends of mine who make big bucks, and sometimes I think I should just leave and just do that only. I'm sure I make good money than what I'm making from my job. In case if you're watching, don't take me out of that. But yeah, I know my job as well.
वेडिंग कोरियोग्राफीज में बहुत पैसा मिलता है.
बहुत.
तो मतलब आप क्या मतलब सर्वाइवल के लिए वो कर सकते हो?
Surviving के लिए नहीं. I would rather do that. I would not. I mean, me being me, I would pick on at least 3 to 4 things happening simultaneously. I would not cling on to just one thing. कोई एक चीज़ के पकड़ के मैं नहीं चलूँगा. मैं एटलीस्ट मैं 3-4 चीज़ें अपने साथ लेके चलूँगा करने के.
तो मेरे को लगता है कि आपको अपने स्टूडेंट्स के हवाला पूरा माहौल ज़्यादा प्रेफर करते
मेरे को ज़्यादा पसंद है. आई गेस मैं खुद बड़ा ही कॉन्शियस पर्सन था बचपन से ही, एंड आई वॉज वेरी ऑब्जर्वेंट एज अ स्टूडेंट ऑल्सो, एंड as a student of dance and as a student generally also, कि how teachers treat the student and how that वो learning कैसे affect होती है बच्चों का, and how it would be if the teacher could, अगर वो टीचर किसी तरीके से अपनी चीज़ों को समझाने की कोशिश करे, प्रॉब्ली बच्चे समझेंगे और इंटरेस्ट भी लेंगे. मोस्टली क्या होता है कि टीचर्स यूजुअली सिखा रहे होते हैं बट वो उस सब्जेक्ट का इंटरेस्ट बढ़ाते नहीं. तो दैट इज़ समथिंग आई पिक्ड अप कि टिल द टाइम the student or whoever is coming to learn whatever that you're teaching, if they're not interested in that topic, you are not any magician that you will suddenly make them fall in love with what you're doing. But yes, over a period of time शायद चीज़ें change हो जाएंगी.
एक और चीज़ सर, मैंने सुना है that आप ट्राइब आपने बनाई हुई है
जी.
राइट. व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ट्राइब? ट्राइब क्या है एंड कौन से स्टूडेंट्स को आप पिक करते हो ट्राइब के लिए? मतलब उनके अंदर व्हाट डू यू सी?
So All Stars Tribe was just an idea. एक आइडिया ही निकला था कुछ 1-2 साल पहले. वो नाम All Stars Tribe नहीं था, वो पहले कुछ किंग्समैन था, एंड किंग्समैन से पहले कुछ और नाम था.
किंग्समैन
एक और भी था. सबके फेजेस हैं मेरे ख्याल से, सारे लड़कों के फेजेस आते हैं जबकि आप you go through this phase of you want to look all suave and all polished look.
इसके जैसे हाथ पे वो टॉमी शेल्बी बना हुआ है.
हाँ, मेरा ये भी था कि मैं टैटूज कर दूंगा, मैं स्लीव बना दूंगा. Then I wanted to just have more like studs and this and that also.
अच्छा, ये भी हुआ है.
वो thankfully बहुत जल्दी आया और कुछ भी piercing होने से पहले ही चला गया. Otherwise maybe I would have got it. But coming back to Tribe, before that why it was Kingsman was कि Michael Jackson just expired back then. I mean उसके death के बाद we were trying to do a little medley of all his songs, and we wanted to do a series of videos of just his music and his dancing. So we wanted to call ourselves Kingsmen because he was known as King of Pop. So we were like, we'll call ourselves Kingsmen and we'll do a series of videos back to back.
Wow.
और हमने शुरू किया, वो सिर्फ रिहर्सल फुटेजेस ही हैं, हमने कभी तक उसको कभी शूट मतलब किया ही नहीं. वो हुआ कुछ 1-1.5 महीने तक, फिर उसके बाद हमने छोड़ दिया. But then that idea just remained वहीं पर ही. जैसे आप लोग अभी यूट्यूब चैनल शुरू कर रहे हो, उस वक्त यूट्यूब उतना बड़ा तो नहीं था, बट वी फेल्ट लाइक कि कुछ एक चीज़ एक कंटेंट वहाँ पे डाल के देखते हैं करके. तो अनप्लग्ड एक आइडिया था कि वी विल कॉल ऑल आवर बॉयज़ अनप्लग्ड फॉर सम रीज़न, क्योंकि कोक स्टूडियो में कुछ अनप्लग्ड होता था राइट. कुछ तो अनप्लग था, आई डोंट नो. बट तो उस वक्त मेरे को लगा कि चलो एक अनप्लग करके करेंगे. वो भी नहीं हुआ. And then studio के बाद when this group of people I started meeting, it was just a self-realization that कि COVID के बाद especially कि a lot of students want to learn but they don't have an avenue where they could learn. And बहुत सारे बच्चे जो मेरे साथ आके सीखते थे, they were seeking for some sort of a guidance. I mean there are brilliant teachers in Delhi. I would say that out loud. Delhi has a lot to offer when it comes to teachers, not only me. A lot of teachers are there to teach, but I guess a lot of teachers are also maybe they're like involved in so many other things that they उनके commitment issues की वजह से they're not able to give guidance. I felt like, you know, if they could come to me, not that I'm gonna make them into a brilliant star movers or anything, but I can guide them through कि what all things you can do so that you can become a better mover and you can absorb as many information from a lot of teachers. You have Mr. Fernando here who teaches ballet over here. I have my own senior teachers who have stopped teaching, but they teach whenever they do. So I kept over DMs randomly the kids that I see, I saw some potential, I would DM them and I tell them, you know, there are classes happening, how about you just go and attend. It would be good to what you're already doing and it will make your movement much clearer, bigger, you'll be able to absorb a lot of information from there. करते करते फिर एक टाइम ऐसा है कि हमने जब कोविड के बाद वापस क्लासेस शुरू करे, कहीं से एक पोस्टर दिखा कि कंपटीशन आ रहा है. उस कंपटीशन में फिर अगेन हु इज़ द कैप्टन ऑफ द टीम ऑल स्टार ट्राइब थियो. So Theo and me were just talking कि you know how about we make a small team, but I was always conscious कि team नहीं होनी चाहिए. It should not be a crew who's only bounded by, you know, I'm keeping in a complete control over that. So I kept speaking to him, my brother Raghu, कि what would be a best way to have a team who will be dedicated to do thing for a certain purpose but not be bounded by any of the rules or regulation. So they're free to come. I'll give them that training, I'll give them that room and service, whatever that I could to make them into a better dancer, but not be bounded by कि तुम किसी और की classes नहीं कर सकते, you can't learn under a different teacher and anything. I mean that's the last thing I would want from my students. वहाँ से जाते जाते 5 बच्चे थे, 5 से कुछ 10 हुए, अभी कुछ 18 लोग हैं मेरे पास. I guess the only reason they coming back to me or they are with me still is that they're still free. And it's the environment which has over a period of time जो बन चुका है कि they are getting to learn a lot, they're getting a lot of opportunity to showcase their talent and that is making them stick to this tribe over a period.
So basically tribe के अंदर वो बंदे हैं which are मतलब they are very dedicated.
They're very dedicated, very dedicated.
Right.
हाँ, क्योंकि I'm not seeking at people who are brilliant in dancing. I'm looking at people who want to learn and they have room to get better. So I'm looking at more of them because the ones who are already doing really good, I'm sure they're going to be looking at opportunities to quickly get into reality shows which people want, and there is nothing wrong in it. If you want to get popular, you want more eyes on you, I think reality shows is a thing, and if you brilliant at it, please go ahead and do that. It gives you money, it gives you more opportunities to work in industry. I am more of an educator. I like to educate more things. If I don't have that information with me, I have enough teachers that I know that I can bring them down and who can educate the same students over here. So yes, I always look for students who can who want to do more and who wants to learn.
Obviously आपको खुद ही डांस मूव्स अपने बनाने होंगे या जो भी सारी चीज़ें होंगी, सो यू कांट कॉपी समवन एल्स. मतलब आप जो सिखा रहे हो दैट इज़ योर ओरिजिनल कोरियोग्राफी.
It is my original choreography.
सो हाउ व्हाट इज़ द प्रोसेस, आप कैसे बनाते हो उस चीज़ को? मतलब ऑब्वियसली ये मैंने सुना है कि डांस जो है वो फील से ज़्यादा होता है, बट फिर प्रोसेस क्या होता है उस चीज़ का? हाउ यू मेक इट?
How do I process it?
वर्ड्स में बोलना मुश्किल नहीं होगा आपके लिए?
हाँ,
वर्ड्स में बोलना मुश्किल नहीं
प्रोसेस के हिसाब से अगर देखें तो आई मीन बिकॉज यू ऑलरेडी ए डांसर, तुम नॉर्मली गाने सुनते हुए हिलते ही रहते हो.
ओके.
You know, you're constantly swaying this and that. And dancers का always एक उनका खुद का ये बोलो एक automated process है that they will start to move their limbs and everything. And it totally depends. Sorry, कुछ हो? How was it? मेरे को लगा कि नहीं कुछ होएगा.
Maybe if we have interrupted, just come a little ahead.
A little ahead. Oh, did I go back? When the hell did I go back? Better?
Magic better.
वो अच्छा मैं ऐसे फिट होती है।
एंड फॉर एग्जाम्पल वर्कशॉप से थोड़ा सा हट के अगर आप देखें, सो जैसे वो बंदा है क्रॉक्स राघव, दैट गाय,
Cockroach we used to.
या वो उसका डांस ग्रुप है, राइट?
That's his dance. So yeah, I mean,
स्टाइल है उसका डांस का.
I'm sure there were more people who did it, but I also got to know only after I saw Raghav doing it.
ओके, सो कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है खुद का स्टाइल होना इसके अंदर, एज इन अगर इफ़ यू वांट इस इंडस्ट्री के अंदर आगे जाना लेवल, सो हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज़ टू हैव योर ओन स्टाइल?
I think it is important, and if you can seek your own I guess you need to be well versed with a lot of styles already in your hands so that you can mix and match. And as I said, you need to figure that recipe out, and that takes a lot of time. You can't suddenly think कि मैं कुछ अलग तरीके से नाचना चाहूँगा और मैं करना शुरू कर दूँगा. I would say if you want a very unique style, I would say just go and learn from as many teachers as possible, learn as many different way of movement as possible, so that when you are making your own vocabularized movement or a composition of any of that sort, you have a best of everything and you have somehow figured out your own way of movement. Long back, I mean, this is a study we do about the contemporary, how Martha Graham was learning something else, but then she broke away from that. Martha Graham is prominent figure when it comes to contemporary dances. So she broke from what she was learning earlier, and then did I go back? So Martha Graham being a very prominent figure in contemporary, earlier she was learning a different style, but then later on she wanted to experiment and do a different style, and then the whole birth of her Graham movement kind of came into place. After that, you have so many other dancers also who started, who always, integrated different movements in them, choreography patterns, and they made it their own. And they somehow formatted that under an umbrella saying, this is my movement philosophy, which uses things from here and there, but I do it in my own way. Like you would see ballet also. Ballet has a lot of different way, from Russian to American to European ballet. All of them have a very different way. For a lay person, it might look like ballet, but the movement philosophy, the way things start and end, and certain things that they do, it's very different. It's very, very different. Something that I also got, even hip hop for that matter, the kind of hip hop that you will see in US, or a certain group of people is so different. We did a recent trip to Japan, and the way they dance is, oh my god, it just blows your mind. Because they're so athletic, and most of these kids come from this martial art background, they're so swift, they're quick, the agility is next level. Now when that kind of body executes that movement, it's completely different. They look absolutely free, they look effortless completely. The same thing done by someone who's also a good dancer, it's gonna look a little different.
Okay.
I don't know how to say this. It's basically a same engine machine on a different body, which is heavy, loaded with iron belt, and someone who has a carbon fiber which looks effortless, thrusts through, and the other one just, it looks more grungy, like a Dodge Viper or something of that sort. So it's something different. All of them, the core part is very different, but the execution, it just comes out very completely.
So sir, I'm very much interested in the history of dancehall.
Okay. What should I tell you about it? What do you want to know?
कहाँ से dancehall आया, and how much, कितना important है एक style के बारे में जानना when you are in it completely, all in. जब आप dancehall सीख रहे हो या कोई और style सीख रहे हो, कितना important है उसको theoretically जानना, उसके अंदर deep knowledge लेना. and everything.
Well, regardless of dance hall या कुछ भी, क्योंकि अभी का movement pattern ऐसा हो रहा है क्योंकि a lot of people are doing all the reels and during the COVID time जब ये सारे reels हो रहे थे, a lot of people were just picking on steps quickly and they were doing all these movement. They were like Afrobeat and dancehall. A good mover वो जो भी अच्छा नाच सकता है वो हमेशा स्टेप्स देख के बड़े इजीली पिक कर लेता है. बट इफ़ यू वांट टू एक्सेल उस स्टाइल में आई थिंक आपको जाके थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करो कि है क्या स्टाइल, कहाँ से आ रहा है, हु आर द एक्सपर्ट्स इन दैट लाइन. लोकली भी चलेगा. बहुत सारे लोग शुरू करते तो वो सीधा ही सोर्स पे जाना चाहते हैं. सोर्स पे जाओ बट शुरुआत करो लोकली. अगर कोई सिखा रहा है तो लेट इट गो बैक. सो लोकली कोई सिखा रहा है तो आई गेस वहाँ से जाओगे तो एटलीस्ट यू विल स्टार्ट ऑफ, एटलीस्ट एक लॉन्च पैड मिलेगा कि चलो यहाँ से शुरू करो आप. फिर जाके यू कैन लर्न मोर अबाउट द क्रिएटर्स. For dancehall, for instance, which comes from Jamaica, it's a very street ghetto form. It's a very completely different group of people from Jamaica who are representing this popular dance form which is world over. It has taken world by storm and people are now following it everywhere now. Afrobeat now Afrobeat एक चीज़ नहीं है. A lot of style which gets integrated in those movements, they come from different regions. So you need to know कि Nigeria से आ रहा है, is it coming from a different country, तो गाना से आ रहा. तो you need to know also, or even the Afrobeat songs that we listen to, it has very peculiar music instruments, so you understand where is it coming from. But then again, it's for those people who are serious about learning that art form and they want to understand and do more with it. If you're day-to-day people who are just wanting to hear the music and have fun, I think you just might as well just listen to music and have fun. I don't think the world and the life is so busy right now. I don't think a regular person is not going to be investing time into Google saying कि ये कहाँ से आ रहा है या नहीं. But then if that regular person is landing up in your class, I think it becomes your responsibility because you're making use of someone else's resource and music to teach and making money out of it. The least you can do is at least give them that information that this music kind of exists from this country. This is the style that you're teaching. And if there is a move that you're doing like dancehall, for instance, a lot of dance signature movements is created by these crews in Jamaica. And they always give a name to all the steps. So you can call out that steps and you can, tell the group names who came up with it. And my favorite group is Black Eagles from Jamaica. Brilliant. I mean, I think I started off with that.
Sir, एक और चीज़ that we all know that there is a lot of exposure in this industry, right? If you do well. So एक ऐसे लेवल पे जहाँ पे एक्सपोजर आपको बहुत मिलता है एंड साथ साथ इनसिक्योरिटीज़ भी आ जाती है. What do you think इस चीज़ से कैसे कोप अप किया जाए?
I think even I'm coping up with that also. Insecurity.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying insecurities in that level, but your insecurities about, will I be able to finish a certain task which is given to me right now? Do I have
Like that type of insecurity.
different types of insecurity? The generally which comes is ki will I be able to make it big or will I be able to survive doing what I'm doing? Because not everyone's comfort level is there to really grill themselves in a technique class for hours. And the choices that you're making in India. अभी entertainment business है तुम्हारा and you want to make it big, it's mostly Bollywood, let's be honest. You want to go to Bollywood, you want to go to Bombay, you want to figure out your work patterns there, make more contacts and figure where do you fit the best and what are the things that you have to drop from your ecosystem. Not eco but like ecosystem and don't fold back into it कि नहीं मैं तो ऐसा हूँ, मैं ऐसे ही करूँगा, I'm gonna live by my own rules. You cannot do that.
Because उस process के अंदर you can't learn anything.
Yeah, there are things you need. I think you should learn even when it doesn't falls anywhere in line with what you're doing. Also, it's good to know how exactly those things work. I mean, that's least, but somehow somewhere down the line that might help you. When you're trying to curate something, this you would know कि अच्छा वो वैसी चीज़ें होती हैं करना पड़ता है करके मतलब मेरे को क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. I was one thing very passionately I used to do was like click pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. And I bought a Sony camera way back जब Alpha series का सबसे पहला Alpha series ही आया था मेरे ख्याल से मैंने लिया था. I love doing it. अब through the lens when I started seeing our dance class is so different and like capturing an angle suddenly पाँव के पास से रखा बंदा लंबा दिख रहा है. And you started learning about the 50 mm lenses which 50 mm आ गए तो मतलब तुम तो डायरेक्टर हो गए रोलन बन गए. फिश आई का तो कुछ यूज़ मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आता बट पीपल जस्ट दे लव द होल फैक्ट वो फिश आई लेंस है.
एस्थेटिक
बट आई स्टिल आई
I don't know, but शायद मे बी हम लोग अल्फा से ये शूट करें.
अल्फा से जो आप तो काफ़ी महंगे वाले अल्फा होगा बट चीज़ें सीखने को पड़ेंगी तुम्हें जो कि बाद में जाके ज़रूर काम आएगा. It's not the immediate thing that you're learning, but it's the personal learning that you will go through. I was able to hold my patience and I was working with people where I don't belong, but then I learned so much about that group of people. Dude, this is how it works. My own learning with this is that I have worked with the basic of the basic people, been with them. We have worked I did a small chota job at McDonald's as well on a part-time. We used to quickly mop the floors or just quickly. I've done this little tennis ground में ball boy का काम किया हमने so that we could just make that really quick bucks of money. Office में अगर बहुत सारे meetings हो रहे थे we have to figure out कि okay सारे लोग हैं तो how we got a couple of glasses of water, so we need to figure out वो ये बोल देगा अच्छा चाय का अरेंज करो ये करो. तो वी गोइंग एंड प्रोक्योरिंग थिंग्स कि भाई वॉट एवर नॉलेज दैट आई हैव बेसिकली बीइंग स्ट्रीट स्मार्ट कि कहाँ से कैसे कर रहे हो. नाउ व्हेन यू हैव डन ऑल ऑफ दैट एंड यू रीच अ पॉइंट वेयर नाउ यू हैव टू आस्क पीपल टू गेट थिंग्स डन, probably you'll be a little humble and treat the other person more nicely and saying कि बेटा जो हो सकता है ना करके आओ इतना ला दो काफ़ी चलेगा. It kind of changes your whole dealing with people. So so the way you deal with your crowd of people and what you do, and I thank God that I have done almost most of the stuff which is related to a dance class or a company or whatever, that I've seen every role and how people deal as a coordinator, how are you dealing as a rehearsal director, what you're doing, and I let the chaos happen. And later on, I come back and I tell them, this is what was happening. Probably you could look into things in a different way and smooth it out. I mean, we're not trying to have a competition within our group of people. We're trying to curate an event and we want that event to happen good so that everybody feels good because everyone is giving their 100% according to their capacity. But what happens, अगर किसी एक को leader बनाया तो वो बंदा इतना ऊपर चढ़ के सब पे देख रहा होता है कि वो एक ही बंदा चला रहा होता है बाकी सब सुन नहीं रहा होता है and they also listen to it without having no interest in it. Absolutely. So and that kind of leaves the entire dancing environment very sour. And I'm very conscious that our learning space or even a creative space should not have any sort of a heavy air going on. So I pick on these things. Suddenly if there's a little tiff happening, a blunt words exchange, it kind of ticks me off. I don't think any sort of work can happen when these things are happening. I like to keep it very chill. If it didn't happen right now, probably it can happen in the next event. Abhi nahi hua, chalo theek tha. Agle isme kar lenge. But also I'm quite possessive and harsh in the way I deal with things as well. I keep it more moving. I don't let them saying that you're tired. In the moment you say that word out of your mouth, obviously you're going to start feeling it. And if you don't say it, just keep doing it. जब छुट्टी लेना होगा तब कर लेंगे. You don't have to be at it. Yeah, and do the work. I purposely assign some work also to people who think, ये तो वो कर लेगा. कि नहीं तू कर. तू जाओ वहाँ पे वो वो एसी का पानी गिर गया, वो पोछा मार दो वहाँ पे, और चलो ये वाला ये चीज़ें, यहाँ स्पीकर उठा के तुम उठाओ.
Just to keep them grounded.
Not consciously, but I was like, I think you should just do it. Why do you think like some of the boys in my crew, they won't let the girls pick up the speakers or whatever. I'm like, nahi uthao. If you think you can pick up the speaker and just keep it, just get the job done. Just get the job done. Simple. शीशा वहाँ पे कर रहे हो, अरे नहीं तुम ठीक से नहीं करोगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, टूटेगा चलो ठीक है, ठीक कर लेना, बट लाइक जस्ट गेट द वर्क डन. डोंट लेट दिस बी कि गर्ल्स शुड नॉट बी गोइंग देयर. अभी यहाँ पे सिंपल थिंग लाइक चलो सुट्टा लेकर आ रहे हो, तूने लड़का रहने नहीं, मैं जाके लेके आ जाता है. क्या बकवास कर, क्योंकि तुम दूसरा नहीं जाके आ सकता है क्या? Keeping it very chill, because as I said that I've seen the phases of everyone who do that, and also I should not be using the word, but but some of the girls suddenly get triggered कि ना तुम कर सकते हो, मैं नहीं कर सकती. मैंने कहा भाई, I'm not even going to that phase at all. I'm just saying if you can do it, just go and do it. I mean, if you don't want to pitch into the bill, don't pitch it. दो खत्म करो, निकलते जाओ. But yes, पैसे तुम्हें लेने तो लेना, तो वो इस पे ज़्यादा इसको बात का बतंगड़ बनाना मेरे को, I try and avoid. I avoid any sort of a clash. You can say that's my weak point also, but I kind of avoid those.
So वहीं से politics start हो जाती है ना, because वहीं से
हाँ, or probably I'm looking at some other things, so I kind of avoid that. Like, I don't want to be part of that. Deal with it or let it be. Let us just focus on this thing. Let's just deal with this. I'm sure that must have been also important for few people, but for me, someone who's looking at more often overarching things, and that is more important right now. So regardless of people picking on smaller work or bigger work, I think work is work. Just get onto it and just do it. And sometimes, I mean, I understand that, me, Raghu, few of the other teachers, we are the senior most in All Stars tribe. So the younger ones, they come and they pick my bags. Like I come down from the side, they suddenly pick up my bag. I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't need to pick or do any of this sort. But they might be doing it out of love. कि अरे sir, आप थके हुए आ रहे हो कि चल let me. मैंने कहा, I don't need that also. I would love it if I enter the class and I'm seeing you drilling and you working out and you just warming up. That is more exciting for me. You won't believe, I mean, every morning you get up and I have an 8-hour job, you have a school teacher, you finish, you bloody 6:45 school bus में बैठो, 5:30 से तुम snooze कर रहे हो, 5:45 तक हर 3 मिनट के बाद एक snooze का बटन करके उठ रहे हो, जा रहे हो. That was my first 3 years in the school job. Over a period of time, I figured out how can I not get triggered by it. Very irritating that I would have left my job way back. I mean, as a dancer, you're quite lazy to get up because your day starts post certain hours. But dance schools में हमारा 8 बजे शुरू हो जाता था. I figured out a way कि morning motivation किस तरीके से कर सकते हो. But then my drive was very different. I would just go into a gym or just go quickly do a CrossFit session or whatever that you're up. You started liking about it, the early morning. I mean, I started seeing positives in a way कि चलो सुबह ये हो गया तो शाम को पूरा free है. You can go do classes or you just go home and relax. I love doing that. If I can go home early, I would love to cook something and I would just put on a Netflix and I would just sit there. I'll be complete couch potato. But given that early morning, if I've done my workout, I would love to just sit, relax and not talk to anybody. But then that's not the case anymore. That's not the case.
तो सर आपने जैसे बोला कि भाई आप जॉब भी कर रहे हो, तो इट्स 9 to नहीं सुबह कितने बजे?
I report at 7:30 I reach and I leave at 3:30.
तो इतनी देर का जॉब, अच्छा ठीक है. तो पहले तो ये क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं कि बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि क्रिएटिव फील्ड्स में, आर्टिस्टिक फील्ड्स में पैसे नहीं है.
हाँ,
तो
साफ सच बोला हूँ.
तो क्या ऐसे आर्टिस्टिक फील्ड्स में रहने के लिए आपको साइमल्टेनियसली मतलब आपको करना पड़ता है साइड काम?
सबके अलग चॉइसेस हैं, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. मैं अपना रीज़न बता देता हूँ क्योंकि आई कैन नॉट कंपेयर दैट टू समवन हु इज़ ऑलरेडी डेडिकेटेडली डूइंग दैट वर्क एंड लाइक टोटली ड्रिवन कि this is exactly what I'm going to do. I come from a humble background, and for me to meet my ends need, I have to do certain things. And also, not that कि I'm struggling too much with the money, but school job करते करते I also figured out कि I have my evenings free. Why don't I go and take classes or attend classes? I was able to take classes with the
कैन वी टेक अ छोटा सा ब्रेक?
ठीक है, ब्रेक लें?
ले सकते हैं?
हाँ हाँ, ले ले,
एक छोटा सा ब्रेक ले।
सो सॉरी, पूरे क्वेश्चन से करिए।
ये करते हैं, ठीक।
बहुत देर से रुका हुआ था मैं। पोजीशन रख लो जहाँ पर थे, वहाँ पर एक हर बार हंसी आती है यार इस चीज़।
Their clapping is more exciting than this interview, I guess. Is it?
नहीं बहुत
मैं बेइज्जती समझूं।
नहीं, मैं क्या, I hope
मज़ा आ रहा है।
हाँ।
तो अभी क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं जो पहले पूछा था मैंने, फिर से पूछ रहा हूँ। तो बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि जब आप किसी क्रिएटिव फील्ड में हो या आर्टिस्टिक फील्ड में हो तो उसमें पैसे कमाना बड़ा मुश्किल है। सो व्हाट्स योर टेक इन दिस, मतलब ऑन दिस टॉपिक?
बिल्कुल सच बोला है जिन्होंने भी बोला है कि द मनी इज़ लेस ओवर देयर, बट येस मनी कम्स मच लेटर जो भी तुम कर रहे हो। और ये आर्ट्स फील्ड ही ऐसा है कि बहुत टाइम आपको बिताना पड़ेगा, एंड यू हैव टू कीप शोइंग योर टैलेंट एंड योर वर्क, योर प्रोडक्ट टू एवरीवन, कि जितनी ज़्यादा नज़र उस पर पड़ेगी, जितना लोग उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, वहाँ से फिर आपकी बोली लगना शुरू हो जाता है। आई मीन इफ़ आई हैव टू पुट इट दैट वे, वहाँ से आपकी बोली लगना शुरू होता है कि ओ अच्छा ये बंदा, अरे ये वाली अच्छा ठीक है, ये अरे ये तो ज़्यादा फेमस है। आई मीन बेसिकली द मोर फेम यू गेट फ्रॉम योर प्रोडक्ट, वहाँ से फिर आपका रेंज ऑफ मनी ऑल्सो चेंजेस।
ऐसा लगता है कि क्रिएटिव फील्ड के अंदर सो सॉरी टू
नो
बट हमें एक ऐसा लगता है क्रिएटिव फील्ड को आई गेस एवरीवन लव्स इट, एंड हर किसी को वो चीज़ ट्राई करनी है। मे बी इस वजह से कंपटीशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कंपटीशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, इस वजह से पैसे थोड़े देर बाद आते हैं इसमें, बिकॉज दिस इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट ना कि भाई हज़ारों की तादाद से एक बंदा उठा
या ये तो है
इस तरीके से।
और सारे क्रिएटिव लोग भी एक पोजीशन की तरफ ही जा रहे हैं जहाँ पे, क्योंकि कि लेट्स से अभी कोई एक मूवी का रोल है तो लाइक देयर आर लाइक थाउजेंड्स ऑफ पीपल गोइंग ओवर देयर एंड गिविंग ऑडिशन। आई डोंट नो अगर ऑडिशन का कल्चर अभी भी है कि नहीं। आई गेस आजकल तो कॉल सीधा ही आ जाते हैं आउट ऑफ द पूल ऑफ दीज एजेंसीज जिनके पास होते हैं डेटा, वो खुद ब खुद ही शॉर्ट लिस्ट कर लेते कि भाई ये इस रोल के लिए ये वाले 15 लोग सही लगते हैं, भेजते हैं 15 को, एंड देन विल, आई मीन इट्स काइंड ऑफ प्री डिसाइडेड, बट देन क्रिएटिविटी गेटिंग किल्ड, और शुड आई से पीपल गेटिंग creativity gets killed क्योंकि people give up a little quickly also maybe। ये तो given है कि इस फील्ड में आपको टाइम देना ही पड़ेगा, जितना लंबा टाइम दोगे it kind of comes back, it might not come back the same way you're expected to things come back to you। जब मैं डांस करना शुरू कर रहा था तो मुझे यही लगता था कि मैं माइकल जैक्सन के पीछे नाचने लगूँगा या तो अशर के पीछे नाचने लगूँगा, नहीं, कभी नहीं हो सकता है। आई मीन आई एम मोर ऑफ अ प्रैक्टिकल पर्सन कि ये तो कभी नहीं होने वाला, बट आई परस्यूड एंड आई केप्ट डूइंग डांसिंग एंड आई एम समवेयर देयर डूइंग व्हाट आई एम डूइंग। आई मीन एटलीस्ट पीपल नो मी, but at least I've reached a point that I'm like very respectfully known by doing what I'm doing. Very dedicatedly I've been doing it for the past 20, 23, 4 years, whatever. But yeah, it gets you something back for sure. But you need to stick around for the longest time. I mean, it's a very, what do you call it? Unforgiving career path that people have to, I mean, whoever's taken this part, it's fun to know, but the choices that you would be making on the way, क्योंकि तुम्हारी छुट्टी है नहीं, जो सबको लगता है क्रिएटिव फील्ड में तुम कॉन्स्टेंटली 24 घंटे तुम कुछ ना कुछ चीज़ों में इन्वॉल्व हो, तुम लोगों से मिलना, ये सोशलाइज करना जो कि dear Lord, I mean, बहुत लोग करते हैं, मैं नहीं करता. But somehow I survived it. But there was a phase that I met so many people almost every weekend or like 3-4 times a week. I would go and meet people. Yeah, I mean, yes.
I'm introvert kind of person.
I am. Yes.
तो तभी आपके अभी तक शादी नहीं हुई.
हाँ?
तभी अभी तक आपकी शादी.
शादी की टॉपिक में कौन जा रहा है? हम
ये मैंने बड़ी मुश्किल से स्विफ्टली अंदर बताया.
very very nicely done.
देर से बात नहीं थे, कब कर रहा सर?
पता नहीं यार, लाइक करने का तो मूड भी नहीं है वैसे.
और क्यों नहीं, मतलब मैंने ना डांस फील्ड में तो स्पेसिफिकली आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, स्पेसिफिकली मेन, जो नई शादी करते हैं.
यानी बहुत बहुत कमीने हैं हम लोग. Should go. Oh, can I say that? Oh, fuck.
You can. यार.
No.
Hello, Flamingo. He's like, oh.
नहीं करेंगे सर.
Like, I think I wanted to stick to doing what I'm doing. If something comes along, and then it's good. क्योंकि अभी, not that I was not in relationship, I was in relationship. I was in a very good relationship with these two ladies that I met. They are doing well in their own line of work, whatever they're doing. But me being me, I knew that when I was with someone, I kind of gave my time and everything that way so much that I kind of deviated from my line so much that I was still doing all the work, but I know I did not give my 100% to what I was doing. So now I've come to a point that I am not 100, I'm like 1600% into my job. I am like constantly on my phone and app and constantly curating an event or something, ideas, constantly discussing. That I'm only thinking that, I'm gonna be here, and if something happens, then it happens. Otherwise, I'm not looking for anything basically.
मतलब only if the other person understands you.
Yeah, I mean,
giving.
creative fields are, it's very unforgiving. I mean, you get sucked into work for so long, you don't know. There is no timeline to it. You don't know what and when what comes, and you're suddenly out there. It looks all fancy on Instagram. Absolutely, people.
Just a second. ये आवाज़ कहाँ से आ रही है?
तेरे फोन से.
Oh, अच्छा, it was beeping. Shit. मुझे सही में लगा कोई कीड़ा विड़ा है.
मेरा ना शूट चल रहा है, मैं आपको 15-20 मिनट तक करूँ.
ये अच्छा है.
OTP बता दो. होल्ड करो.
ये मैं BTS में डालेंगे हम.
बहुत अच्छा है ये.
995464. हाँ.
फोन ना साइलेंट कर अपना.
वो वाइब्रेशन में था.
मैं इसमें तो लग रहा हूँ.
हाँ.
जी, इस काम पे था.
So sorry.
मैं बोल गया, क्या कह रहा था मैं?
कि अगर कोई आपको समझ जाए कि आपकी क्रिएटिव फील्ड के अंदर आपको टाइम भी दे. गर्ल्स आर सुपर डिमांडिंग, टाइम के लिए.
I mean, for anything. I mean, not even the girls, the boys are also. I mean, nothing like it. But हाँ, टाइम बहुत कंज्यूमिंग है ये, एंड
बट इस वजह से तो ब्रेकअप नहीं हुआ होगा.
हाँ?
क्योंकि
कि टाइम नहीं दिया करके.
अरे
हाँ, मतलब कहानियाँ तो बहुत हैं, क्या ही
वही तो जानना चाहते हैं. वही तो जानना चाहते हैं. दुख दर्द पीड़ा.
दुख दर्द पीड़ा का.
सर अच्छा, तो सबसे जरूरी बात मुझे जानना है कि आप ब्रेकअप से कैसे कोप अप करते
अरे यार, ये कहाँ
हो. मतलब ये मेरे को जेन्युइनली जानना है. एक सेकेंड में मेरे को ये जानना है कि बीइंग अ टीचर जो फुल टाइम टीचिंग कर रहे हैं, स्कूल में भी, फिर यहाँ पर भी, और क्रिएटिव फील्ड में, क्योंकि क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक तो आता ही है. तो जब आप इतने खतरनाक रिलेशनशिप के ब्रेकअप से निकल रहे होते हो तो आपका काम नहीं इफेक्ट होता?
इसके एक्शन से ज्यादा इतने खतरनाक.
वही, I can hear the whole stress of that whole. लेकिन ऐसे कैसे cope up किया? मैं juice चाहिए, basically juice.
क्या?
अरे बाबा, juice content for that part.
कंट्रोवर्सी.
हाँ.
हिंदी.
अरे यार.
इतने
अच्छा, well, ठीक है. तो जब ये the recent breakup, whenever that happened, was at that time कि जब मैं already काम था. Thankfully मेरा job ऐसा है जहाँ पे I would have to give a lot of attention to what I'm doing. I'm dealing with students. ठीक है, तो you have to switch completely, and you are with those kids, and you in a completely different world. So somehow it was very easy to switch, and I had so much things going on कि you had your own storms and battles happening on one side, but I also had so many other things that I had to attend to. Some people might say कि, oh, you need to let it all out or whatever, but I understood because everything happened on such a mutual basis कि we understood each other's situation कि भाई इसके ऊपर क्या रहोगे. I'm freaking 35, 36 or like you, yeah, that's the age now. तो हाँ रख लो जाओ. So, I mean, what are you supposed to say? I see things from a different lens altogether. Ki, if this is what it is, then it is, then ठीक है अब चलो. I mean, you felt bad about it. You had ideas that probably it could work and shape into something or the other. But you know, things have other plans. So that's when I started keeping myself as a priority and to doing what I'm doing. I have to do it. Like I can't be like going and seeking for a companionship or this and that or relationship. Obviously, you look at some girls and you want to be like, oh shit, you know, how about we just go out on a date or just meet up. Just want to go and talk to that person.
डांस ही सिखा दूंगा यार.
ठीक है तो उस वक्त ऐसे लगता तो है but then you're like you know nah I got things to do, let it be. But yes, I go and meet people definitely, but yeah.
एक और सर ऑब्वियसली क्रिएटिव फील्ड के अंदर स्ट्रगल बहुत ज़्यादा है 100%, बट अब एक पर्सनल लेवल पे आ जाता है थोड़ा सा. पेरेंट्स की साइड से काफ़ी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस होती है. अरे मैं थोड़ा सा एग्जांपल दे देता हूँ. वो एक मूवी देखी थी आपने?
जी.
उसके अंदर वो फादर, हाँ डी का जो फादर है रिस्ट्रिक्ट करता था नॉट. सो ऐसे केसेस होते भी हैं बहुत.
और क्रिएटिव फील्ड वाले लोग ड्रग्स में भी बहुत जाते हैं
यार. ये तो कोई बात नहीं,
ये होता है. इट्स ट्रू. आई वांट टू
आइडिया.
यार ये कंट्रोवर्सी क्रिएट हो गई, इसको बीप कर दें.
मैंने तो पानी पिया. आई हैव नो आइडिया.
तो मैं क्वेश्चन कंटिन्यू करता हूँ. सो आप क्या एडवाइस देना चाहोगे मतलब आज उन पेरेंट्स को यार और उन बच्चों को ऑब्वियसली साथ ही साथ, बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्ट्रिक्शंस आ जाती हैं. मतलब इफ़ किसी के दिमाग के अंदर है कि नहीं ये बच्चा नहीं कर सकता या कोई मतलब बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्टिव पेरेंट्स होते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा,
तो वो एक तरीके से क्या करते हैं ना सर, वो इतना सुना देते हैं आपको, इतना सुना देते हैं. वो एक ना आई डोंट रिमेम्बर कि वो कौन सा आइलैंड है जहाँ पर एक प्रथा फॉलो होती है. आई थिंक यू माइट नो दैट कि जब वहाँ पे पेड़ काटना होता है ना बहुत बड़ा, तो वो पूरे गांव के लोग आके उसके आगे सर्कल बनाते हैं और उसको गालियाँ देते हैं और वो अपने आप टूट जाता है.
Oh, I've heard about.
Yeah, exactly. है ना? तो imagine if that is happening to a tree, what is gonna happen to a person? Yeah, to us. तो ये पेरेंट्स जब करते
मैं
हैं,
सिर्फ माँ बाप को ब्लेम नहीं करूँगा. 100% हो सकता है
सोसाइटी
नहीं हो सकता है कुछ पॉइंट्स पे स्टूडेंट्स की भी गलती हो या फिर माँ बाप को पता हो गया यार नहीं यार उनका बच्चे के अंदर वो टैलेंट नहीं है,
वो ऐसे
जबरदस्ती करता है. नहीं यार होता है ऐसा.
आप
होता
बताओ.
है प्रैक्टिकल.
कह रहे तुम बात कर लो, मेरे को भी उठाया.
बताओ यार, आप बताओ. हो तेरी
पानी उठ जा.
बच गया.
ये क्या रुको ये ना ये कर्टन यहाँ करो.
सर वाओ,
ये तो आपने बहुत बढ़िया चीज चली. हो गया.
ओए भाई.
कंटिन्यू. तो सर एडवाइस क्या रहेगी आपकी उन
बहुत क्लियर. आई मीन एक एग्जांपल ही बता देता हूँ, उसमें से अगर कहीं से कुछ आंसर मिल जाए तो तुम देख लेना, क्योंकि आई एम ऑलरेडी वर्किंग इन स्कूल. अब स्कूल्स में क्या होता है कि व्हेन वी डीलिंग विद ग्रेड 9 एंड 11 12 व्हाटएवर, कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जो कि डांस एज अ सब्जेक्ट लेना चाहते हैं. अब कुछ पेरेंट्स हैं जो कि सीधा के बोलते हैं कि मेरी बच्ची बहुत अच्छा डांस करती है, आप इन्हें ले लो करके. मैं कहता हूँ कि मैम अच्छी करती है डेफिनेटली, बट अब जब ग्रेड 9 6 7 8 में होता था कि इट्स मोर ट्रीटेड इन अ डिफरेंट वे.
करिकुलर,
इट्स मोर ऑफ अ करिकुलर और लेट्स से कि स्किल बिल्डिंग बेसिस में एक स्टेज 1 और 2 पे होता है. जब तुम ग्रेड 9 में आते हो तो द लेवल ऑफ डेडिकेशन दैट इट नीड्स फ्रॉम दैट चाइल्ड इज़ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट. अब इसमें दो चीज़ें हैं. इफ़ लेट्स से वन पर्सन वांट्स टू फॉलो अ सर्टेन करियर पाथ, आज के डेट पे when parents are already very concerned कि कर पाएगा कि नहीं, कहाँ पे, क्या, कैसे, also blame it on social media or whatever the information which spreads out. People already, the moment you say anything related to creative field, they're gonna be a little cautious. I'm not saying सारे parents बोलते हैं. Thankfully, I will have very less negative things to talk about of my field because I met really supporting parents. I have kids coming over here. Some of the parents bring their 9-year-olds from, I don't know from which side of Delhi, and they travel on weekends to come and take my class. So I have a lot of positive things only happening around, so I can tell you about that. But if someone who's just passing out from school, जबकि parents seek करते हैं कि आप university जा रहे हो, कहीं पे आप admissions जा रहे हो, I think it becomes a duty of that child to go and research everything and give a very chalk out plan कि भाई this is what it is, and you have to एकदम सफ़ेद बताओ कि ये career है, इसमें ऐसे ही होता है, उस पर तुम्हें पहले रिसर्च करके सारी चीज़ें पता होनी चाहिए. You need to know how long that journey is going to be, or if that journey is going to be never ending. If something comes along, it comes along, otherwise it's not there. ब्लैंकली नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि जो भी ये चॉइसेस करते हैं वो लोग बोलते हैं मेरे को म्यूज़िक में क्या है कि एटलीस्ट दे वुड हैव सीन यू rehearse, given exams in music. Dance mein, if you are doing classical, they have seen you perform on stage, you know, getting nice accolades from the teachers. Western dance mein, unless and until you're doing a certain forms, the other freestylish choreography forms are just dance classes that you're going and making videos with. But there is no anything academic related things happening, but there are universities जो कि देते हैं सारी चीज़ें. पेरेंट्स को क्या करना चाहिए अगर वो बच्चे करना चाहते हैं कि give them that time, क्योंकि regardless अगर वो बच्चा चाहता है कि कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, the least they can do is support the child at least for the initial basis, and it is equally responsibility of the child and the parent to seek out all the information. It's not that कि नहीं कर सकते, अगर नहीं कर सकते तो ऐसे भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो जा चुके हैं, तो जाके पहले तो वो पता करो कि उन लोगों ने किया कैसे. They are your best examples. Go and follow that path. अगर वो चीज़ मिलती है वहाँ से, पेरेंट्स का भी उतना ही हिस्सा रहता है कि जाके आप पता करो कि what is the best way your child can gain that knowledge or education from whichever university, industry, institute, whatever that you can do. And parents need to open up a little bit more. You can make a career out of it, but
मैं से वो नहीं कर रहा था, पर इंडिया के अंदर ज़्यादा ये प्रॉब्लम है. आई थिंक कि कई पेरेंट्स हैं जो क्लासिकल के अंदर अपने बच्चे को भेजना चाहते हैं, but in freestyle and other Western dance styles, they find it vulgar and they don't find it good, and they think कि भाई मेरा बच्चा एक गलत संगत के अंदर चले जाएगा या कुछ ऐसा हो जाएगा. So maybe these are assumptions, maybe and कई जगह पे हो भी सकता है ऐसा कि स्टूडेंट्स की गलती हो भी सकता है, मतलब एस्पायरिंग डांसर्स कह सकता हूँ, स्टूडेंट्स नहीं कह सकता, बिकॉज मैं किसी पर्टिकुलर
लैक ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग में चीज़ें यहाँ की वहाँ हो तो जाती हैं. बीट फ्रॉम योर पेरेंट्स साइड ऑल्सो, getting triggered directly by the kind of song your daughter is dancing, or the boy कि अरे गाने में lyrics बड़े खराब हैं, but the student who has no clue of the song but they just wants to move. Now dance is it takes you to a trance. Right. So when you're enjoying that movement so much, you just lose yourself to music and you're just moving so you're not worried about the lyrics and all after a point. And the kids, they just love moving in that space. So उसको तो ज़हन में भी नहीं है कि उसने वो स्टेप किया क्या है, क्योंकि आप उस स्टेप को उस नज़रिए से देखते हो तो आपको तो ख़राब लगेगा ही, चाहे कुछ करो या ना करो. तो उसे चेंज नहीं कर सकते. You can only talk and educate them more कि these kind of things happens in that way, and not everything has to be sexualized. Not everything has to be seen in the other side only. And okay, you just come into the space, people are very free. You can also take that in a way ki, you know, he or she is feeling free to just move. You know, they're trying to express themselves. You can be, then you're like institutionalizing it. Ki you can only express in these formats. There are no other way of expression. अगर ऐसा होता तो तुम्हारा ये art would have never came out of the cave where people were just scribbling on the you know, on the stones. They found out for different means how you can do it on a leaf, or like, you know, things started getting invented. It's only over a period of time. So people have their way of expressing it. I think the parents, they just need to just open up to it. Ki this is how it is. You need to just educate the kids that, you know, what you're doing, how you're doing. You be cautious ki what you're doing. Be aware of what your movement is doing, and be aware who is watching, what they're watching, how they are behaving with you. Dance class is a place where you can say it's a safest place, but also that it could be a place where, you know, unintentionally a touch can be seen in a different manner.
Yeah.
Holding hands or giving a hug or whatever can be seen in a completely different manner. So we just need to just educate the student and the kid ki just be aware. I mean, you can just bring awareness only. You can't be doing anything else. After that, it's only how that person deals with situation over a period of time.
Yeah, you are.
I think parents, they just need to just open up a little bit, and things need to come up. So that's why I see all these art forms need to come up more so that it's more visible. It has come up, but it is coming up in a huge way in terms of reels. Now people are showcasing. I'm not only talking about
सोशल मीडिया तो आजकल काफी इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले कर रहा है इन सब चीज़ों.
It is. I mean, जो मैं मेरे ख्याल से Instagram मैंने 2013 या 14 में गया था. I never needed it. I was posting pictures there, beautiful pictures, because it was supposed to be for photographers back then.
या
YouTube यूज़ ही नहीं करता था. 2007 में कुछ YouTube आया था. मेरे ख्याल से मैंने पहला वीडियो ही कुछ 2012-13 में डाला था. It is the fact that what you're doing, the art is supposed to be shared by a lot of people, and you need to show your art so that people appreciate, and everybody just wants that a little bit of a positive comment ki it is really nice, I would like to see your work more. That motivates you to create more stuff. It's basically reaching out to as many people as you want. But yes, it has turned into a marketing work now, and people are doing it. Instagram is paying. Why you want to use their that app needs to be opened in your phone as long as you can.
Yeah.
They just want that so that they can run ads and make money, and you are engaging in what way. A conscious time आता है when you are spending so much time on it that you are consciously making a decision कि ठीक है, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to be making use of. Let me bifurcate my time and use it strategically, doing that much only. And yes, I will connect to my people, may do my marketing bit, and have people come to my class, and you strategize that way. Other than that, going completely berserk, that is for a different set of people. I am on Instagram most of the time, but I kind of make sure it's always information about classes or the workshops or whatever. I stopped posting my dog story on my Instagram now, but it's very little it comes out. Otherwise, I would like click pictures of all the stupid thing that she does at home. It is gone. So the personal touch of my profile, Instagram profile, is gone. It's mostly now what you're doing and how can I entertain you. There is nothing personal about
लोगों को
it.
क्या अच्छा लगता है basically.
You're just putting things because now I have to deal people to make them come to my classes. So I'm mostly posting about my workshops or like the events happening. There's nothing personal anymore. They don't know me otherwise. They think, Are Donny Sir, teacher, classes happening, whatever. They don't know anything else apart from it. Maybe इसके बाद शायद चीज़ें पता चल जाए.
तो वर्कशॉप्स आजकल बहुत ट्रेंड में चल रही है. इतने ग्रोइंग वर्कशॉप कल्चर में
भाई भरकम सवाल आ गया.
लोग रेगुलर क्लासेस ज़्यादा प्रेफर नहीं करते. सो उसके बारे में हम थोड़ा सा जानना चाहते
रेगुलर
हैं.
क्लासेस और रेगुलर क्लासेस के ऊपर लोग वर्कशॉप्स को क्यों चूज करते हैं बेसिकली? व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
क्योंकि आप भी रेगुलर क्लासेस भी करवाते हो, आप वर्कशॉप करवाते हो, राइट?
तो ये क्राउड थोड़ा, आई मीन आई डोंट नो हाउ टू, मैं इस सवाल को कैसे फ्रेम करूँ, जो सॉरी जवाब को, वर्कशॉप्स आपके रेगुलरली हो रहे हैं एंड रेगुलर क्लासेस भी रेगुलरली हो रहे हैं, but people find more ease and comfort in workshop. I'm not generalizing it, but there are general public who see dance as a way of just letting their work pressure out. They just want to loosen themselves up. They want to just come and enjoy and have a good time. They don't want to train.
They don't know how to dance. They just want to try.
They might know how to dance as well. They are, some of the raw dancers are like so good in class. Sometimes I see them and I ask them कि have you taken classes? They say कि हाँ कभी कुछ कब किया था.
मैं भी आऊँगा, मैं डरता हूँ बस.
आओ हाँ, ये तो हो चुका, महीने हो चुके अभी तक नहीं आए. But regularly happenings. What I was saying कि the general office going people, they want to come and dance to something which they're listening to these days while they're going to work, and like something like a chaleya right now. So you have choreographers like Harsh and Shazib and Simran Jat, all these guys. Now they just picked up the song so big. Now people want to dance to it, and suddenly now when you know a class where I can just go and learn some moves to that song, they like it, they come over there. I see it in that way, but yes, a lot of out of that entire lot, there are a lot of people who now started seeing dance as that only. Ki this is what dance is. Now the whole picture of dance, the way it has been portrayed, is that the workshop classes are the dance training. So in between, a couple of years back when I asked them ki, when you're talking about workshops right now, earlier it was dance camps happening after every bloody 15-20 days, and there's a new camp sprouting out from every corners of Delhi. So when there was one discussion happened in one of my friends' camp, and we were having a Q&A session, and I asked them ki, what is considered training for you? So they said, so I've gone and trained under this teacher. And when I asked him, when you said train, how long did you train? No, I did his 2 classes. When I go, 2 classes is not training. And if you're training amongst those 50-60 people in that room. How is that a training? How did that teacher saw you and told you, this is why you're making a mistake, correct this and do better? Any sort of a training. You went into boxing, you went into acting. You can't be taking an acting lesson in very 70 people.
You are right.
And you will be like, I did a workshop, I'm the trained under that teacher. But you are not trained under that, you just attended a seminar. You were just one of the people over there. He or she doesn't even know you existed over there.
If काम जो होता है वो regular classes के अंदर.
Regular classes में you start to understand things more in a detailed way. It makes you realize where do you lack. You get to go and ask questions from the teacher. The teacher gets to give you clarification and gives you that pointer so that you get better. The teacher is only there to tell you to how you can get better. They're not going to make you better. They give you tools to get better. It's for you to go and work on it and get better, come back, so that they give you more stuff to do. It's a never-ending process. The creative thing, if we thought Mr. India long back, suddenly that whole red glasses and people getting invisible, that was amazing. Maybe a few years down the lane when Prabhudeva suddenly vanished, when the hat came in, that was amazing. You see Jurassic Park way back in the 90s was something different to coming back later on. The clarity and the way the technology is getting better. People, I mean, basically any creative person wants to make things better and better. I want to make it more realistic. I want to make it more effortless. The people who thought, no one can jump and do a triple tour and land here. Long back when they started doing stunts, probably they did like a 3-4 spins on the head and people like, oh wow. Nobody can do it. Nobody can keep spinning for like a minute. There are people now in battles that are spinning records. People doing planks for 2 minutes were like, you know, I can do 2 minutes. And there are people who have now done it for like hours, if I'm not mistaken. So there is no, humans will always keep pushing to do better and bigger and something so that people can talk about. So that's going to be a never-ending journey. You can still be a replication of the same thing which is going on. I'm targeting towards reels. Yes, you can do that trend. Yes, you can make a cover of it. You will be constantly making those covers only. You will be amongst those 1,000 people who are doing it. When are you going to be making your own trend, or when are you going to be making your own content?
Where people would want for it, right? If you're the same person amongst every 100, you're just in that exploratory hunt, it'll be covered. You're not going to be standing out, and that's where the originality comes in. So when you're going to be showcasing your product with your original content, and given how much you have educated yourself in this form, and the whole aesthetics about presenting the product for.
Strategically, अगर हम क्या हुआ? So, but strategically अगर हम देखें तो social media का काफी अच्छा use भी किया जा सकता है अगर strategy.
Of course. That's what I think I went way around towards that. मैं वही कह रहा हूँ कि अगर समझ है किस तरीके से कर रहे हो आप चीज़ें, and if you understand that platform needs you to market yourself, then go ahead and market yourself. There is nothing wrong in it. But understand कि ये वाला phase मेरा marketing का है, and for my own art I do something else. Something like I never used to teach on Hindi music a lot. Not that I hated Hindi music, but my format of movement, I never saw myself moving to a Hindi music. Now I started doing Hindi music. Because of that, I'm able to connect to a lot of people who never stepped into my class, and that's I see that as a blessing. Dude, I have people traveling 2-3 hours to come to my class, and I don't know if I'm that important person that they want to come for that 3-hour class. I make sure I give them a good time in class, even if they are not able to do it. I sometimes bring down the choreography a little bit low so that they can enjoy it and they can finish it. So those things happens, and so there's nothing wrong in it. And now I kind of okay, man. What was I saying?
There's nothing wrong in it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong in it. So I had to change my ways so that I can connect to more people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, and and then I switched back to Hindi, English, whatever. So if people think that if your whole purpose is to connect to more people so that your brand reaches out to more people, go ahead and do that. This is my phase. Workshops are my way of connecting to more people, and I tell them, come to my regular classes, I'll make you more aware of my way of moving. And out of those 60, 70, 3 people come. But at least those 3 coming to my class, I see that as a complete win-win situation. Okay, I got my 3 people. Now these 3 will get me another 5 in the workshop, and probably I'll be able to convert somewhere. That's my way of getting people to my regular classes. And I make sure that my regular class people also attend the workshop, and I get to call them alag se in class to showcase, okay, these are my regular class students, watch them. And they have a more finesse, they have a more clear way of moving, and the other people get to see. Now it's totally up to them whether they want to do it that way. Some people make a choice, no, I want to dance like that. It's just that decision that they make, and they feel like, okay, I want to do it. Sir, आपकी classes कब होती है? Monday, Thursday, 6:30 PM, IFBC. फीस के लिए आप मेरे को DM कर सकते हैं, या फिर कर सकते हैं, हो जाए.
Yes. तो सर बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन हैं, बट हम रैप अप करते हैं. लास्ट आपके मुंह से 2 लाइनें सुनते हैं जो भी आप अपने इंस्पायरिंग डांसर्स को बोलना चाहते हो.
Have a lot of patience. Stay true to what you're doing, and be conscious of every action that you're taking, whether even if it's that for your marketing purpose or your creative purpose. But be very conscious of how much you are digging yourself in one place. Try to keep a balance so that you don't lose out on your art, and don't let your art get, don't let it die by just staying to the art only. You have to bring that art to the other people. So it's your job to educate that people by bringing an art to them which entertains them. promote about the other form of things, and then you bring them back over there. So connecting people is what we're trying to do. Building community with all stars. Yes.
तो अब ना बहुत ही स्पीड गुड़ कर रहा है मेरा, तो अभी आइस क्या डूना नहीं
Thank you so much.